Facebook people. Looky here who we have. We have Julie Drake. She's over there, smiling and waving.
Hi.
Like she's in a parade. She's the main attraction today here on Comic Spot. And Comic Spot is where this Army veteran, me, vets out veterans of comedy like Julie Drake. So let me read you the
Yay.
bio that she sent me. She says, and I quote, "I'm a comic from Oklahoma City. I started at the very young age of 39, wink, and she's been at it for 4 years and has moved up from hosting to featuring at a variety of clubs across the country." Oh my gosh. Let's talk to Julie Drake. Hi, Julie.
Hello, Linda.
Thanks for taking time out for a little bit of your comedy life, your trajectory into comedy through it and through the pandemic.
I know, it's crazy.
Crazy time. Oh my gosh. So right now, what city are you in today?
Oklahoma City.
Okay, so you're home. All right.
Yep.
What's it like in a pandemic in Oklahoma City?
The first month was very strange because I do have a day job still, and going to work, there was never anyone on the roads. I mean, what would normally take me close to half an hour in the mornings was turned into like a 10-minute or less commute. Everything was shut down. It was just a ghost town feel. It was just very strange.
Yes.
But Oklahoma's done pretty good. We are not a hot spot like New York or, some of the bigger cities. So that's good. So we're starting to feel back to normal now. Not everything's still open, and we're trying to keep it that way.
Yes. So you grew up in Oklahoma City, right? Have I got that right? You grew up there and you're there now?
I grew up in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, which I'm sure nobody has heard of.
How
And
close? How close is
it's
that?
3 hours away. Bartlesville's right outside Tulsa. So yeah. And I came here because obviously a small town, there's not a lot of opportunities. And I thought Oklahoma City would be better for me and my kids. And it has been. It's been a wonderful place to live.
How many children do you have, Julie?
I have two. I have a 25-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you raising them as a single mom?
I have. Yeah. I've been a single mom pretty much my whole life. So.
Wow. I was a single mom.
Oh, you were the whole time?
From the time she was 4, but really, technically, yeah, the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. Their dad was with me for a while, but he wasn't much help. So yeah, pretty much a single mom the whole time.
We're mom and dad.
Yeah. He was like having another child. So
nice. Very cool. Very cool. That
Yeah.
helps with the comedy, right? Helps with
your. Yeah. I do talk about being a single parent a lot, and some of the hard times we went through, and a lot of people can relate to it.
Absolutely.
And because it's real, a lot of people connect with it as well.
Yes.
Like, being a poor single mom, all we could do is just laugh at it and try to get through it, because otherwise I'd cry every day.
Totally. Oh my gosh.
It's hard. It's really hard. Yeah.
It is. I just, my hat's off to you for doing it now. I did it, in 1976.
Mm-hmm.
So it's even harder financially to do that now. So, and socially, it's, there's so much pressure that if you look back when I raised a child, it was a simpler time and simpler for my mother, but, simpler when you go back in time.
I would think it would be harder to be a single mom back in the 70s because it doesn't seem like it was as common. Is that?
The hard part was the lack of acceptance at church.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually, I got kicked out of my church for being pregnant. And that was in 1995. They asked me not to come back because they said, and I quote that we were bad for business.
Oh, oh, it's a business. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. That
thought
they didn't.
Jesus turned over the tables at some point. Didn't he try to eradicate that idea?
Well, the pastor said that when new people were there, that they didn't want to see that they condone teenage pregnancy or think that the church had anything to do with it. So they said I couldn't come back because I was bad for business. So
Oh my gosh. Some
wait till
people
wait wait till Jesus finds out.
some of the stuff they tried to
I
tell me
know.
too. Oh my gosh. Like they look at you like you're the only one that has any sin if you're divorced or, teen pregnancy. All of the people that were, oh, I don't know what you call them, like the uppers in the church that made deacons and all that. They were trying to decide if my divorce was good enough for me to qualify to be remarried at any point. Like
Oh man,
they were the judges.
that's crazy.
Yeah. And they decided that I was not fit to get remarried in their church. So lots of
Well,
fun. Lots of fun.
yeah, see ya then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Joke's
I
on them.
really
I never got married because I couldn't find a guy.
well, I never went back to church. So, well, I went back a few times, but I was always turned off by it. So I really haven't gone since then.
Yeah.
Left a real bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, it does. I was going back to church and then I got hit by a drunk driver in 96. I'm going to be brief because this is about me and I'll get over it. So I got hit by a drunk driver, got brain trauma. My daughter took care of me. It was too much for her. She took it out on me. We're not speaking for 6 years. And so, like, now I don't go back to church because it's so depressing going into a church without my child,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I can't even go through a door without my daughter. I know that sounds crazy, but that was who I was. I was a single mom. That was my child. So yeah.
Yeah. That's what comedy's been good for me because my whole life, my identity was being their mother. And I didn't have an identity outside of that. And so this is the first thing I've done my whole life where it's my own identity and people know me by me, not because I'm their mother or someone's girlfriend or someone's baby mama. So comedy's helped me find my own identity. And I think that's why part of why I love it so much.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
When my daughter and I went our separate ways, I called a comedy club and started comedy that same day. And
Oh, wow.
I'm not, like, even though my heart breaks on the one side, not having her in my life, there's so much joy I get by making other people laugh.
Yeah, me too. That's the best part. In fact, we were talking about the pandemic before we started, and the first show I did after all of this stuff, I had this lady from the audience just come up after the show and she just gave me a hug. And I thought, do I know her? Do I not know her? And then she's just hugging me. And then she started crying. And I'm like, okay, this lady's just crying. I don't even know who she is. I didn't see her face. Anyways, she said that was the first night she'd been out in months since the pandemic. And it was the first time she forgot how stressed out and worried. And she said, it's the first time I genuinely laughed and felt happy again. So it was really sweet that us comics were able to do that for her. And she was just so happy. And it's kind of corny, but she was like, this is the first time in months I felt like everything's going to be okay. And I know. And I kind of thought, am I really going to go back to doing comedy? Because it seemed trivial, like with everything going on. And so I thought, well, I'll just go do my week and I'll see how it feels. And she totally changed my mind that it's not trivial. So,
Aww,
yeah, I know.
so cool.
People need to laugh. People need to laugh and to be happy for a while. So what we're doing is actually very important.
I believe it's essential.
It is. Yeah, they say laughter's the best medicine.
Yes. So tell me about you going from being in no offense, but Nowheresville and moving to a bigger city, and at some point starting to do comedy and hanging in for 4 years, working your way up from the bottom to featuring around the country. I want to hear this.
like I said, I'd been a single mom, worked multiple jobs. I'd just gone through another really bad breakup with another asshole. Sorry, I don't know if I can cuss, but
You can cuss.
okay. So I was just like super burnt out and tired. And so I thought, everyone kept telling me you should do comedy. It's like, they're like, I don't know why you're here. You should be doing comedy. And so I was just like, well, while I already feel like so bad about myself, I'll just go ahead and do comedy, and I'm sure it won't work out, and then I can just start all over. But I thought, what have I got to lose? And then I did it, and it just worked out, and it made me happy. And it was, like I said, it was the first thing I did for me that I wasn't doing for someone else. I wasn't doing for my kids. And I just felt like I got along with the comics. Like, these are my people. We get along. We have fun. I love comedy. And it just kind of just took over my life from there.
Me
And I'm
too.
really glad I did it. I mean, go ahead.
Did you ever watch the reruns? Because you're too young for the original. Did you ever watch Welcome Back, Kotter?
Oh, I still watch it sometimes. I don't have cable. And so sometimes I'll catch it when it comes on. But yeah, I like that show. It's funny.
Because it feels, when I'm around other comedians, it feels like I'm on the best episode. It doesn't matter who the comics are. They can be douchebags. But
Yeah.
still feels like I'm on the best episode of Welcome Back, Kotter that there ever was. Because I'm in it.
I know. That is, yeah. It's a very wide variety of characters.
Yes. Let's go back to what you were trying to say before I interrupted you. Do you recall what point you were trying?
No.
Cool, let's move on.
No. That's gone.
I'm closer to Alzheimer's than you are by about 30 years. So
oh, yay.
don't feel bad. If I had a nickel for everything I forgot in a day. So you went and did comedy. I want to know, Julie, the very first time you got up on stage, what did you feel before, during, and after that first set?
I was really nervous, and there was like 30 minutes after I found out I was going up, and I walked over to Target, which is kind of close by, because I was trying to like walk off some nervous energy. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to do it. And I think I had like 5 or 6 minutes left, and I was like, you better get back over there. And I literally ran from Target to the club because I was like, no, you better do it. And then I was like, it's 4 minutes. It was only a 4-minute open mic, and I was the last one. And I went up there, and, I like rehearsed this like in my house. And so they started laughing, and it was really strange to me. And I like, at one point they were laughing, and I was like, oh my God, this is totally not like how I rehearsed it in my bedroom. You guys are really laughing. And that got like a huge laugh. It was just like an off the cuff thought. And I just like, I finished, and then I left, and I tell you, like, I was like, it was like the biggest high I'd had ever. And I was so happy and so excited. And it was the first time I didn't feel so burnt out. I was like, I have something to look forward to now. And it made me happy.
Absolutely.
But it is a lot of work.
Yeah, that's what people don't understand. I was teaching comedy, and people would walk in saying, well, how soon till I get a Netflix special, basically? It's like
30 years.
Yeah. And then it's overnight.
Yeah. No, I knew, I mean, I wasn't, like that. I knew it was going to take a lot of work, and but I was willing to do it, just because I was like, I don't want to just work all the time anymore. Just be someone's mom. Like, I want to do this for me and figure it out. But man, it sure is a lot of work, but it pays off.
It does.
Yeah.
It's the biggest high. So who are some people that you looked up to before you started comedy, and who are some people that have helped you in comedy?
I grew up and I loved Paula Poundstone, Rita Rudner, Andrew Dice Clay, Sam Kinison, Richard Pryor. And when I was a little bit older, like Gary Goldman, Maria Bamford, Jerry Seinfeld, of course, Chris Rock. I really like, I
Any
loved,
good ones? Just
I
kidding,
know.
just kidding. Like you named off everybody that every comic should listen to.
Well, I would record their shows on HBO or whatever, and I would just watch them over and over and over again. I could do some of their stand-ups from top to bottom. Yeah, I just loved it. But
Wow.
I have to say that there's a lot of comics that have given me a lot of advice. I mean, there's so many I could name that gave me good advice, overall good advice, and then some that would watch my sets and be like, you need to do this, not that, and you're doing this, and maybe you should try this. And I'm very open to learning, so just take it all in and just use it. And I'm so grateful that they saw something and said something, because if I can't get any better if I'm keep doing stupid things over and over. So I mean there's so many comic friends that have done so much for me. I mean, and I try to pass on what they've taught me to other comics when I see them doing the same stuff, because I think it's only fair.
Exactly.
Yeah, to hand down the knowledge I was given. And I'm only 4 years in. I'm still new and I'm still learning, but um I'll get to where I need to be. I just need the pandemic to go away so I can get back on stage all the time.
Yes, let's hope it goes away. And 4 years in, at
Mhm.
what where was it in like 3 months, 6 months that you went from hosting to featuring? How fast did you make it to feature?
I I would say at a club level it was 2 years. Now I did feature work and some headlining like at bar shows and some special events, but the clubs made me host for almost, maybe not 2 years, maybe it was like a year and a half, and then they moved me up to feature.
Got it.
Yeah.
And you're going around the country. What are some places, some cities you've done comedy in that were just dope?
I would say the best one that I did was last October when I was in Vegas. It was the first time I was in Vegas, and I was doing comedy there, and it was just so cool. I mean, I will say that the rooms there are pretty hard because it's such a wide variety of people in there. There's not like one type of person. There was like a big, wide variety of all kinds of people, but it made me really good because I had to really think hard about how to play to everybody. Because, here in Oklahoma, I know who's going to be in the crowd. I know how to read the room easily, but Vegas really taught me how to roll with it, man. And there was a lot of drunk people there.
A lot. Oh
A
my
lot.
God.
So I had to really roll with that many drunk people in the crowd too, but it was a great experience. And I loved Vegas. The comics there were so good to me. They were wonderful, and they made me feel like one of them right away.
Isn't
And
that great?
Vegas,
I came on a
yes.
visit and I was like, why am I in Portland, Oregon when there's
Hmm.
Vegas?
That's what I said. I was supposed to move there August 1st, but the pandemic happened, and
Yeah.
it'll still be there in 6 months, but
So
we'll
how has,
see.
let's move on to the pandemic. How has the
Uh-huh.
pandemic treated your personal life?
Uh, you know, I was definitely missing my comedic friends, and it was very strange not to be able to go out and socialize. And at first I was kind of happy because I was tired and I needed a break, and it was like a forced break, which I needed. But then after about a month, I really got to where I missed everybody. And I think that in our scene, it did a lot of good because it kind of reset everything, and all of the old fights and squabbles and annoyances went away. And when we all got back together, there was just like a renewed like sense of, okay, we really do like each other, and things have been a lot better. So I'm very happy that we all had that time apart, and we seem to enjoy each other much more now.
Yeah, it's nothing like a worldwide pandemic to bring people together, right?
Yeah, I know, crazy.
Oh my gosh. I like it when people, come out of something horrific better off. So with
Yeah.
that as the premise for my next question, I'm just curious if you have thought, how is I'll be darned. I'm going to make sure that I do things in my personal or professional life that I come out better off after. Have you thought through how you're going to beat this and come out better off because of it?
The pandemic.
Yeah, like how are you becoming a better mom, a better comic, a better writer, a better housekeeper? I don't know. In any way do you see, I know you've had a lot of time to be forced to think or to have time for priorities. So has anything good come out where you think you're going to be a better human?
Oh yeah, I think I'm a much better human now than I was just, at the beginning of the year, because I had a lot of time to sit and think. And then I realized I probably put comedy a little bit too much ahead of everyone and everything else. And I think I've become a better friend, better parent, because I realized just how consumed I was with that one goal of comedy, and that maybe that wasn't the healthiest thing. And, like when comedy went away, I realized, well, I don't really have anything else. I haven't made a life outside of that. So now I realize there needs to be a balance.
Very
And
good.
it can't all just be stage time.
Yes.
There's more than being a thirsty comic to life.
What's the funniest thing you've ever seen happen because of the pandemic? Have you on TV or on Facebook or when you went to the store? Have you seen any crazy people doing crazy things they would never have done otherwise?
I think the craziest thing I saw was, like the big bubbles you can get in, and you play bubble soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Someone went to the grocery store in one of those. And I thought that was so funny.
I want one.
I know. I know. This guy was just like so nonchalant, just in this bubble outfit in the grocery store. It was really funny.
Well, I think you're terrific. I was you do comedy, and you're a single mom of a 25 and an 18-year-old. And a lot of comics we are artists have our hands in quite a few different artistic pots. Like they're doing podcasts, or they're writing a novel or a screenplay or sketch comedy. Whatever else might you be doing other than what you've told me so far, Julie?
Actually, funny story is I did write a screenplay, and I learned how, I read all about screenplays and how to format it. And I wrote this screenplay about my life, about being a single mom, going to comedy. And I tried to sell it to Amazon, and that was right before The Marvelous Miss Maisel came out, and they were like, think we've heard this story before. So they beat me to it.
Oh, man.
But I was proud of myself for learning how to write a screenplay and doing it. So I sat down and I did it. And, I'm like, maybe I should do another one. You can't. We'll see.
Congratulations on doing that.
Well, I did it, but I didn't sell it.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
well, what are you going to do?
Maybe there's a country that hasn't heard of Mrs. Maisel.
I know. I was so disappointed. It was literally right before it came out. And I just couldn't believe that. I just couldn't believe it.
How did you learn to write a screenplay? Did you just look it up on Google one day, or take a class, or I wouldn't know how to do it. And believe me, it would not come out right, even if I got training.
Yeah, I just looked it up online, and then I downloaded actual screenplays.
What?
And I studied how they did it, and then I Googled what they mean by scene, and what did these abbreviations and screenplays mean, and I just emulated it.
You're self-taught.
Yep.
That's super huge.
Yep. So maybe I'll do another one.
Maybe you can do one of my crazy life, because I can't.
Maybe.
I
would love to.
Okay, you're hired. Anyway, we'll talk. And it's been so lovely of you to take time to talk to me. I think you're looking down at me right now.
Sorry, I had to get my shoes on, and I have to go run to the laundry room before someone steals my clothes.
Thank you so much. It's so lovely getting to know you, Julie Drake. Thanks for all
Yes,
you.
thank you so much. And
Bye.
I'll see
Sorry.
you when I'm in Vegas.
Please do. Let's do something together. And I mean it. I don't just say things. I mean it.
Yeah, we should talk more. And then next time I'm in Vegas, which will hopefully be before the end of the year, I will see you there.
Great. Let's do it, Julie.
All right. Thank you so much.
You bet. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Everybody's talking at the comic spot, the comic spot.